Live from Shea Stadium in Flushing, New York, Sports Channel presents New York Mets baseball today. The Mets host the Houston Astros. Well, a beautiful night for a ball game here at Shea. We're in Flushing, New York. I'm Fran Healy along with Ralph Kiner. And I like the Sports Channel.
I'm out of uniform. I know
like
I'm going to get fined.
You look good. You look good. And we'll be joined by our colleague, Rusty Staub, as the Mets take on the Astros in Game 2 of this three-game series. But all the fun and games are over. They had the Upper Deck Seniors game, the Old Timers game, the Heroes game, whatever you want to call it. Now it's serious business. Mets are struggling.
Well, they certainly aren't hitting, and of course they finally got a well-pitched game from David Cohen. He pitched an outstanding game and came up with a no decision. He's pitched 2 games where he's allowed a couple of runs, and he's come up empty, really 1-0 in the games. And of course, what we really are looking at here tonight is Doc Gooden. When you have a man with his stature and his reputation, he's got to be the man that sets your club right, get it back on the winning track.
Yeah, he's the leader on the ball club as far as going out and winning the ball game, stopping the losing streak. Roger Clemens at the Red Sox got off to a great start also, and then he struggled. He won a ball game, got a complete game the other night. So it's up to Doc now. Doc's last outing was not that bad. I think the big thing for Doc now is to get a W next to his name to start getting that confidence back.
I think everybody, no matter how good you are, that you run into streaks where you don't really lose your confidence, but you start to wonder whether or not you're snake bit. You wonder, why are all these things happening to me? With Doc Gooden, he's been hit hard until his last start, which was a little bit better than his previous starts. But somewhere along the line, you say, well, it's got to change. And Doc Gooden can come at you with so much good stuff that it has to change. There's no doubt about it.
Well, Jimmy Jones will be his opponent for the Houston Astros. He's trying to break a 2-game losing streak. He's had a career that has never really gotten off the ground because they're expecting a lot from Jimmy Jones.
Well, of course, he was drafted ahead of Doc Gooden. He was 3rd in the nation the year that Sean Dunston was #1, and Gooden was drafted 5th in that draft. He got off to a great start in his Major League career. He tied a Major League record, pitching a 1-hit shutout in his first game ever in the Major League. So from there on, it hadn't been as good.
New York Mets baseball is brought to you by your Greater Tri-State Sherwin-Williams paint stores. There's only one paint this good, and there's only one place you can get it. The pros know. Ask Sherwin-Williams. By today's Chevrolet, who invites you to see why more people are winning with the heartbeat of America. By Nobody Beats The Whiz for everything in home electronics, music, and movies. Nobody beats The Whiz. By your Tri-State New York Toyota dealers. I love what you do for me, Toyota. By Manufacturers Hanover, where your money has power. By your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer. By Texaco System 3 gasolines. Texaco, star of the American road. And by Budweiser, the king of beers, with that distinctively clean, crisp, cold taste. Nothing beats a Bud.
We're going to take a look inside the game. Today with the Heroes of Baseball in town, we saw some championship teams, 69, 73, and 86. The ingredients on those teams and the type of people who were involved in those championship teams, they talk about chemistry on a ball club. They talk about guys who were leaders, guys who were emotional leaders. I think each of those clubs had that. I think when you start, especially if you look at 73 with Tug McGraw and the things that Tug McGraw did with his "You Gotta Believe" and the way he got excited about everything. Okay? I mean, you can see the emotions running in a Tug McGraw. I think that there's any one thing, as you see the end of that game right there, you think Tug's rolling? I think the New York Mets right now need somebody. They don't need anybody to stay in their shell. They don't need anybody to be conservative. I think they really need somebody to say, we need some enthusiasm on the bench. If you look at the Met bench, it's really one of the quietest benches I've ever seen. I think they need somebody to take the reins and say, look, we're going to get to be an emotional ball club. It's very, very difficult to win without emotion. And I think that's one of the areas that the Mets can really work on right now if they really want to get into this race. They got a long, tough climb. Pittsburgh's a good ball club. They're playing very well. But inside the game, you really understand that you've got to have some emotion to win. Francis, I'm going to throw this back to you.
Okay, Rusty. You can see here at Shea Stadium, big crowd on hand. Second game of this 3-game series. The New York Mets taking the field. As we mentioned, they struggled last night. They can't score the runs they need to win the ball game. And they're concerned in the clubhouse. The players are very concerned about scoring runs. And speaking of some championship games, how about Rusty Staub's catch in right field? 1973. Boom. I feel sorry for that wall, Ralph.
Well, the wall took a beating, and so did Rusty. From there on throughout the World Series, he was unable to throw. If you recall, he actually tried a lateral off a couple times to the outfielder next to him, the center fielder, and he was just unable to make any throws as he really tore up that shoulder.
Well, he got quite a reception here at Shea Stadium from the fans. Rusty Staub, very popular player here in New York, doing a fine job in the broadcast booth. Now we'll take a look at the Astro lineup. It'll be Steve Finley leading off. He'll be followed by the shortstop Eric Yelding, and then Craig Biggio, the catcher. Luis Gonzalez in left field, Ken Oberkfell at first base, and Rafael Ramirez at second base. Eric Anthony, Casey Candell, and Jimmy Jones, the bottom three.
And on the mound for the Mets, Dwight Gooden with a record of 5-5. Gooden has won 124 games in his major league career while losing 51. He has tried 4 times to win that 125th. He's worked 89 2/3 innings. His 78 strikeouts, second in the National League to David Cohn. Lifetime, he is 12-4 against Houston, and he won his first major league game against the Houston Astros.
And the defense, Magadan, Jeffries, Templeton, and Johnson in the infield, McReynolds, Boston, and Brooks in the outfield, Sasser behind the plate. And the umpires in tonight's ball game, Bob Davidson behind the plate. At first base, John McSherry. Out at second base, Jerry Lane, and over at third base, Tom Hallion. And Mackey Sasser doing the catching. Rusty Staub, and inside the game the other night, talked eloquently about Mackey Sasser's situation. In fact, Rusty suggested Mackey talk to Johnny Edwards, who was here for the Upper Deck Heroes game today. Johnny, of course, struggled a little bit towards the end of his career, throwing back to the pitcher. That'll drive you right out of the game. I'll tell you, I admire this guy, the way he's fought it. It was a lot easier when I had it. I had it in Kansas City, and not that many people knew about it. Same with Ray Fosse in Oakland, but everybody is focused on Mackey's problem. Mackey continues to fight it. Got to admire him.
And a major change for the New York Mets, as they have put Sasser in as a starting catcher. The Mets definitely need some bat. In the bottom part of their batting order, he has hit over 300 against right-hand pitching, so the Mets have to go for some bat, whether it's a minor leagues to get somebody up or play Mackey Sasser.
Well, they have Todd Hundley in AAA, but the Mets want to keep Todd Hundley in AAA to get what we talked about in the opening, his confidence. He's hitting the ball pretty well. We know he can play defense. It's important to get that confidence. First pitch from Gooden to Finley. There's a strike. Talking to Yogi Berra before the ball game, he brought up Mackey Sasser. He likes Mackey. Of course, Yogi can't understand the throwing problem because he never had it. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Up high. 1-1. So Mackey Sasser behind the plate in tonight's ball game, and the doctor on the mound. 1-1 pitch. Oh, there's a good hook.
Well, the one thing about Doc Gooden, he has to get his curveball over to make his fastball effective, and there it is. And he had a lot of motion on that ball and a lot of break.
And the 1-2 pitch to Finley. There's a curveball, base hit in the right field. Pretty good curveball right there. So Finley, batting .292 prior to that at bat, picks up a base hit.
Well, Finley 3 for 4 in last night's game, really tearing up the National League, and he goes down and gets a good curveball. And there's just nothing you can do about that. He was right on the curve and singles to right.
Number 15, Eric Yelding.
And Eric Yelding will be the batter.
Yelding drove in the winning run in last night's ball game with a double in the 9th inning.
Yelding batting .259 as they checked Finley at first base. They're hoping Yelding will evolve into a proficient utility man with the Astros. He has 1 home run and 17 RBIs. He'll play shortstop for a long time. At least till they bring up the kids in the minor leagues. The Astros are high in their minor league system, although you don't know what's going to happen to this ball club. John McMullen, the owner of the Astros, wants to sell. And they check Finley again. That's disconcerting. The situation in Houston is disconcerting to the players.
Well, you always have doubts when your ownership is in doubt. There's John McMullen right there. He makes his home in New Jersey. He is probably the most disliked man in Houston.
That's why he's living in Jersey. Up high to Yelding. Ball 1.
One of the things he has threatened to do is to sell the ball club to outside ownership and have the ball club moved. The major leagues have stated that they will not be able to move that ball club. That takes some of his leverage away in the sale.
He's been trying to lobby for that, getting the ability to move. 2-0 to Yelding. So the doctor falls behind the Astros shortstop.
Yelding bunted in the first inning of yesterday's ball game after Finley had singled, and now moving out to bunt right here in the first inning of this game. Now with a 2-0 count, I doubt if he'll be bunting.
Yelding has been a .250 hitter in the past in the major leagues. Last season batting .254. He was 3rd in the league with 64 stolen bases.
He's a .360 hitter against the Mets. A good pickup by Magadan right there.
(2-0) on Yelding. Holds his ground. Yelding hits the ball right up the middle. Templeton to Magadan. Scored 6-6-3.
Well, the Mets have been needing this, the Adam ball. And the ball hit right at him, and the double play. In that rally in the 9th inning for Houston in yesterday's ball game, everything Houston hit was right in the hole away from the hitters. The balls weren't hit that hard, but they were what ball players call seeing eye base hits, and that has been a big difference for the Mets in this losing streak.
Greg Biggio, the batter. He drives the ball, but foul. When the doctor has his good stuff, you don't see his fastball pulled foul with authority. That ball was tattooed right there. It's early in the ball game. We're in the first inning. As you see Biggio's stats, .317, 2 home runs, 14 RBIs. His college coach Mike Shepard at the ball game last night. Seton Hall. And the 0-1 pitch pulled foul. In a couple of weeks, St. John's University will be represented here in the Sports Channel box. Bob Astorita, top security man with Cablevision, will have all of his buddies from St. John's at the ball game. Joey Russo, the baseball coach, outside, 1 and 2. So the colleges in New York supplying major league talent. John Franco, Frankie Viola out of St. John's. Matt Galante, one of the coaches with the Astros from St. John's. Biggio, Rick Cerrone from Seton Hall. Popped up. Foul territory. Easy play for Magadan, and that'll do it for the Astros here in the first. They go with 1 hit, strand nobody. Half inning of play, no score. Mets coming to bat. Okay, let's take a look at the Met lineup. Darrell Boston will lead it off. He'll be followed by Dave Magadan and then Greg Jeffries. The middle 3, Kevin McReynolds, Howard Johnson, Newby Brooks. In the bottom 3, Mackey Sasser, Gary Templeton, and the doctor, Dwight Gooden.
And Jimmy Jones on the mound for Houston with a record of 4-3. No decisions against the Mets, an earned run average of 3.30.
Darrell Boston steps in, batting .204, replacing Vince Coleman, and he hits a drive in the gap, right center. Here comes Boston. Extra bases. Now that's what the doctor ordered.
Up next, First baseman, number 10, Dave Magadan.
Well, Boston on the first pitch by Jimmy Jones deposits the ball into deep right center field. And Boston replacing Coleman, who is out with a hamstring pull, doing a job in his first at bat as a starting player, his 10th game start this year.
So Darrell Boston on second base, and the batter now will be Dave Magadan. How about that? Mag squaring the bunt. He's batting .247, 2 home runs, 25 RBIs.
Well, Magadan right here is way up in walks, and he might have been decoying that bunt, because you generally don't have a ball club bunting in the first inning, although Houston has done that.
And you certainly wouldn't want to make Dave Magadan bunt in the first inning. You'd be telling Dave Magadan, look, I don't believe you can hit anymore. He might have done that on his own.
I think he was probably taking all the way. He really needs to get his thinking in order at the plate. You're running the streaks as a hitter where you think backwards, or the pitcher thinks differently than you do, and that's when you're running the slumps. You're thinking fastball, you get a curve. You're thinking curve, you get a fastball. And even though your calculations might be good, they're just off, and you can't run constant all the time.
2-1 pitch outside, 3-1. I think if a team's in a slump, you should do the opposite
Hit
of
and
concern.
run.
Yeah, get aggressive, be overly aggressive.
Now, you really have to start pushing your ball club and have some sort of a game plan where you're not sitting back waiting for something to happen.
3-1 pitch. Magadan hits a high fly ball, center field. Boston tagging. Finley getting in position, makes the grab. Here comes Boston. The throw. Outstanding throw by Finley. Who has a better arm in center field than Finley?
Well, that was an outstanding throw. There's no doubt about it. This was a fairly long throw. I mean, he's not in shallow center field. This is a
number 9,
good
Jeffrey.
280-foot throw, and he's right on the mark. And the tag is made. Boston's an easy out at third base, so the Mets gambling there and losing. So that doesn't work. Boy, what a throw.
That has to rank up there with the best throw we've seen this year from an outfielder that far out. 1-0 on Greg Jeffries, who's batting .268, 1 home run, 24 RBIs. Up high, 2-0. Something like that can just change the atmosphere.
Yeah, but it's still good baseball. You got to force a ball
yeah,
game. You
sure.
got to take your chances. I'm
talking about the throw.
Yeah, the throw was outstanding. There's no doubt about it. But at the same time, when you throw a ball that accurately from that distance, it's unusual.
Tip your hat to the center fielder. Fouled out of play. 2-2. As Ralph mentioned, Finley was deep making that throw. And Boston with good speed wasn't even close at third base. Two-1 pitch to Jeffries. Line drive, base hit. You know what can change the atmosphere back? A stolen base.
And Jeffries has the ability to steal. And the Mets have got to start pushing. They got to start trying to do things.
Kevin McReynolds batting .259. Will face Jimmy Jones. There's Jeffries with a real big lead at first base. Oh! Hit him right on the elbow. Or above the elbow. If hit him on the elbow, he'd have to hold that elbow.
Well, that certainly wasn't intentional. You don't want to be hitting anybody with a runner at first base and 2 men out. There's been no indication this was done on purpose. That's the second batter Jimmy Jones has hit this year. Ball hitting right off the elbow and ricocheting off by the on-deck circle.
So runners on first and second, and Howard Johnson the batter. Greg Biggio flashing signs to Jimmy Jones. Jones either didn't read the sign, didn't like the sign, he wants another sign. He just stepped off the rubber. He wasn't concerned about the runners. He just either didn't like that sign or didn't catch it. Yelding trying to sneak in behind Jeffries. He's out of position now, although they're playing Johnson a pull way inside, ball one. Yelding playing behind second base. As you look at Kevin McReynolds, look at that thing swell up. Tom Spencer in the way right now, but boy, is that, look at that. He didn't rub it.
There's a welt there.
1-0 pitch up high, 2-0. Better get some ice on that baby, huh, Ralph?
Take about 100 pounds.
As close as you stood to the plate, you must have been hit there so many times.
I didn't get to hit that much, but
no.
Well, actually, McReynolds didn't make a good move away from that ball, and he got hit. The one thing you do when you saw that play at second base and Jeffries back easily is that you turn away from the ball into the catcher, and McReynolds took that thing straight up, and so it hit him on the front part. If he had turned correctly, it would have hit him on either the back or the left side as it turned around.
2-0 pitch to Hojo. Now it's 3-0.
There's an art to getting out of the way of a pitch.
Well, the guy who could hit the most, Ron Hunt. Or did Don Baylor break his record?
No, Hunt's still got it.
That ball was tapped too. Right at Oberkfell, who makes the grab. Well, the Mets strand 2 runners here in the first. They failed to score it on the Chevrolet scoreboard. There is no score, and we'll be back.
Luis Gonzalez.
Telecast is presented by authority of the New York Mets and is intended for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Mets, Sterling Doubleday Enterprises, and Sports Channel is prohibited.
Luis Gonzalez steps in to face the doctor, top of the second inning. No score, and he slaps the ball to the left side foul. Gonzalez selected by the Astros in the 4th round. Way back in 1988. He hustled to the big leagues, didn't he, Ralph?
He has some good talent. He's brushed a little bit. He's a little young, but at the same time, he's put some pretty good numbers up.
0-2 now on Gonzalez.
Batted .287 in May with 6 home runs and 23 RBIs. The 23 RBIs second to David Justice of Atlanta.
He was named to the second-team freshman All-American team by Baseball America back in '86 at South Alabama. He got away with larceny right there. Not a bad pitch. It's 1-2. Slaps the ball to left side. Base hit. So Luis Gonzalez will raise that .227 batting average with that hit.
Well, 2 good pitches hit for base hits by Doc Gooden. The first, a curveball hit to right field by Finley. And then Gonzalez goes the other way and hits the ball well to left field on a low outside fastball. Those pitches are tough to hit.
Would you be concerned if you were a pitching coach if they're hitting pitches like that?
Well, I think that he's making good pitches. If you keep making good pitches, you'll come out on top. It's those bad pitches that really get your attention.
You're looking at veteran Ken Obergfell. Batting .263, no home runs, 10 RBIs. He's been around a long time. First year in pro ball back in 1975. They check Gonzalez. Gonzalez has good speed. And this guy can handle a bat. He's from Woodlands, Texas.
Doesn't have much power. The Mets playing fairly shallow.
It's funny when you look at him and you say, now here's a guy with good power. He's a line drive hitter, uses the whole field. Didn't use the whole field very well last year in Houston. Ended up batting .207.
One of the few veterans that Houston has kept. Their highest priced veteran is on the DL, Mike Scott. He might not pitch this year.
Well, it's 1-0 on Obergfell. Obergfell had some fine years in St. Louis and in Atlanta. Takes up high. 2-0.
Got his first major league hit off Pat Zachary of the Mets back in 1978.
You know, we're talking about not good power. Sometimes it hurts players when they're big and strong and they don't hit with power. He's 210, about 6'1". Sometimes it'll hurt a player. His build. Scouts have to make decisions. They take a look at a guy that's big and strong and they say, geez, he doesn't hit with power. Sometimes they stay away from him, although this guy has done well in the major leagues.
Been a good defensive ball player.
Gonzalez with a lead at first base. 2-0 pitch. There's a strike, 2-1. You look at a pitcher, you see a pitcher 6'5", about 220, good shape. You figure this guy throws hard. If he doesn't throw hard, it usually will hurt him in the eyes of the scouts.
Now, when you're big, they expect speed.
And when you're big at the plate, they expect power. There goes Gonzalez. Obergfell pulling that pitch and getting the runner over. Scored 4-3. Gonzalez now on second base with one man down.
Well, the Mets certainly played that one right. They had the shortstop covering on that play, so Jeffries able to be there to field the ball. Otherwise, if Jeffries had been covering, that'd have been a base hit.
So one man down, runner on second base. And the batter will be Rafael Ramirez. Batting .235, no home runs, 5 RBIs. The doctor checking Gonzalez. Throws up high to Ramirez, ball 1. Ramirez from San Pedro de Margaritas in Dominican Republic. Hits a chopper to short. Templeton scored 63. 2 down. And with 2 men down, the batter will be Eric Anthony. Told you about Eric Anthony while we were in Houston. We were told that the reason he was drafted in the 34th round back in 1986 by the Astros had nothing to do with ability. The scouts couldn't find him. He didn't play his last year in high school. He had some trouble. He grew up in San Diego. And in with the wrong crowd. So his uncle took him to Houston. Scouts couldn't find him, but the Astros did in the 34th round. Here's a strike. He's batting only .139, no home runs, 2 RBIs. And you know, Ralph, we were just talking about size. And sometimes they think there's a correlation between strength, size, and ability. It's hurt this guy. Everybody you talk to in the Houston organization, they'll say, this guy is in tremendous shape, strong. We're waiting for him to explode.
He's exploded in the minor leagues, but not in the majors. And that pitch right there is really giving him trouble. He's had 2 hits in his last 23 at-bats, and here at Shea, he's 2 for 22. And against the Mets, he's had 3 hits and 38 times up. He had a single in last night's ball game, and it came with a runner on second base, but Hubie Brooks made a great throw to the plate, and Cerrone made a great tag, and he didn't get the RBI.
0-2 pitch. There's that hook. Good curveball from the doctor. Anthony swinging over that pitch. He goes down and strikes. The Astros strand a runner. They failed to score here in the top of the second, but we've played 1.5, and there's no score on the GE scoreboard. Hubie Brooks steps in, takes the curveball off the plate. Ball 1. Jimmy Jones pitching to Hubie Brooks on a beautiful evening here at Shea. Big crowd on hand. There's that breaking ball up high. 2-0. Brooks batting .277, 10 home runs, 29 RBIs. There's a rope in the center field. Finley is there, makes the grab. Funny how you see a real good outfielder when the ball's hit right at him. It looks like he might have a problem with his ability.
Toughest play for a center fielder is the line drive right at you. But watch Finley hang there. He's not sure whether it's going to take off or drop in. Finally, after hanging there, he sees that it's going to drop down, so he comes in and makes a play. We've got a near capacity crowd here on this night here at Shea.
And the batter now be Mackey Sasser. Mackey batting .238, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, and he picks up a base hit. So they wanted Mackey's bat in the lineup, and he delivers here in the second inning.
Up next, the shortstop, number 11,
Well, Sasser against right-hand pitching, a career .305 average, doesn't waste any time, hits the first pitch, a fastball to left field for a base hit. As they finally got Sasser into the lineup.
Obergfell yelling to Jimmy Jones, I'm going to play behind him. Not far, but behind him. Gary Templeton, the batter. He takes up high, ball 1. He's batting .187, 1 home run, 6 RBIs. He's got some talent. One of the most relaxed players in the game of baseball. Whether he's swinging the bat, catching the ball, or throwing it. He says, you see it, you hit it. It's hit to you, you look at it, and you catch it. Takes a strike, 1-1.
Youngest shortstop in the National League to ever have 200 hits. Had 201 season. He also was the first person to have 100 hits batting right-handed and 100 hits batting left-handed in Major League Baseball.
Fouls the ball back, 1-2. Traded for Ozzie Smith. Celebrated trade between the Cardinals and the Padres.
Ozzie wasn't happy in San Diego, and Templeton wasn't happy in St. Louis. Now Ozzie not happy in St. Louis.
1-2 pitch. Foul out of play. So we'll do it again.
The reason why Ozzie Smith isn't happy in St. Louis, they haven't notified him that they will take up his option for next year.
Well, I think they're waiting to see how the ball club fares. If they feel the ball club falls out of it, if they see the ball club falling out of it, they'll either try to trade Ozzie or they'll decide not to pick up his option. If they compete all year the way they've been competing, they might be forced into signing him again.
Well, he's a 5'10" player. He has to okay any trade.
1-2 pitch. Nice play by Biggio. Very good play by Biggio. Almost threw the ball away, though. 2-2.
Good job by Obergfell to pick it up as Biggio picks it up and then decides to try and pick Sasser off at first.
Sometimes
Obergfell got lucky. He didn't get that in the glove. He got it with his back leg.
Sometimes you get that adrenaline going and you do things you really don't want to do. Made a nice play. He's all keyed up and said, well, we're trying my luck here.
Let's make a better play.
Yeah. 2-2 pitch. High fly ball. Deep right field. Way back. Way back, Anthony cannot make the play. Home run, Gary Templeton. 2-0 Mets.
The pitcher, number 16, Doc Gooden.
And Dwight Gooden, the batter. The doctor takes down low, ball 1. So Gary Templeton putting the Mets on the board, 2-0. You know what? He saw it and he hit it.
It's about the way it is.
Down low, 2-0.
Well, Templeton paying his first offensive dividend for the Mets, his first home run in the Mets uniform. He had one with San Diego before coming to the Mets. Last year with the Padres, he had 9 home runs, and it's just beyond the reach of Anthony.
Candel. Cole Zolberg fell off the base. I guess he held on to the base long enough. Scored 5-3.
Anthony makes quite an effort for this ball. Gets back to the ball. Might have been just a shade away from the wall that kept him from getting to this ball. It just did get over.
So a home run for Gary Templeton, his second of the season. The doctor's out. And the batter will be Darryl Boston, who doubled his first time up. By the way, speaking of the doctor, his nephew, Gary Sheffield, placed on the 15-day disabled list. There's a strike to Darryl Boston. Talking about Sheffield, I asked the doctor early in the season when Gary Sheffield decided to criticize Harry Dalton, the general manager. I said, what's going on? He said, somebody's giving that kid bad advice. He said, because that's not his personality. There's a strike. 0-2.
He's been a controversial figure ever since he got over there.
Unlike the doctor. 0-2 on Darryl Boston. Swung and a miss. That'll do it for the Mets here in the second inning, but a big home run off the bat of their shortstop, Gary Templeton. We played 2, and it's 2-0 New York. Well, back here at Jay Stadium in the background, little Richard singing away. This place is rocking tonight. Gary Templeton, a 2-run home run. Third game of this series tomorrow afternoon. Yes, sir. Seen a double here at Shea Stadium. What do you think, Ralph?
It's an optical illusion.
What a good one. Casey Candel, the batter, batting .269. He fouls the ball back. No home runs, 22 RBIs. Hey, there's some of the old timers there in the luxury suite level. Art Shamsky, Wayne Garrett to his right. Ron Hodges in the second row. A nice ball game prior to this game tonight. Upper Deck baseball card sponsoring. Fouled out of play. 0-2.
Art Shamsky with that T-shirt underneath his baseball uniform, and there's Jay.
I think Jay's manufacturing those T-shirts, handing them out to the old timers. And the 0-2 pitch to Candel's outside, 1-2.
Jay's really happy to get off the road. He had a terrible road trip, got hit in the mouth by a ball being tossed in the clubhouse, sprained a finger trying to catch a football running in the outfield. He really had a tough trip.
Casey Candel just had a tough at bat. One down.
Well, he plays like a soldier on this curveball.
Number 37.
And it's called a strike by home plate umpire Bob Davison. Second strikeout for Doc Gooden. They have come in a row.
See his hands. If you can get a hitter's hands to do that, and that curveball will do it to you. He's not going to do anything with the ball.
He ought to call his mom up.
They're
Say,
throwing.
Mom, they're throwing curveballs. What do I do now? His mother was an outstanding hardball player.
Yeah, they're making a movie about women in baseball. The 0-1 pitch to Jimmy Jones is now 0-2. I believe Madonna's up to the leading role.
Can he hit a curve?
Can she hit a curve? You got it. I'll tell you one thing. Nah, maybe I better not touch that. 0-2 on Jimmy Jones. Strike 3, 2 down. I understand Deborah Winger might be in that movie. Penny Marshall's a big sports fan. She's going to direct the movie.
Center fielder, Steve
Well, it's a pitcher hitting, so you have to say that you take that with a little bit of a grain of salt as he strikes out the pitcher with a heater. A lot of fans in the ballpark today, almost full.
And the doctors fanned Jimmy Jones and Casey Candell here in the third. Steve Finley steps in. He singled sharply to right field on a real good curveball his first time up.
Doc says, I don't believe it. Hit this one. Starts him off with that curve.
By the way, on this beautiful night, keep in mind nothing beats the excitement of Mets baseball, and when enjoying the game, nothing beats the king of beers. So clean, crisp, and cold. Nothing beats a bug. And this could be an infield hit. Finley can scoot. Base hit. Geez, he was calling him out. I can't believe it. John McSherry was about to call Steve Finley out.
And they don't have to be in there. Let's take a look at it again. Good play by Templeton. The ball over the top of the mound, just beyond Gooden's reach. Templeton makes a terrific play on this ball. Gets a little help as the ball comes up high, and the throw to first base.
He'd have been out. Huh?
And dropped by Magadan.
15,
What do you think,
Eric
Ralph?
Yielding.
Well, let's look at it again. Yep, he would have been out. So an error charge to Magadan. He doesn't make that many.
Magadan, back in the mid-'80s, was the all-star third baseman in the International League.
That's his fourth error of the year.
Finley on first, and there he goes. He had a tremendous jump to throw.
Oh, what a throw.
What a throw from Mackey Sasser. Forget the pitcher. How about second base?
And then he had a big jump, too.
A tip and a hat to Mackey Sasser, cutting down a speedy Steve Finley. That'll do it for the Astros here in the third. They fail to score. Mets lead 2-0, and we'll be back.
Mets baseball is brought to you in part by the New York Times. Read Joe Sexton's coverage of the Mets only in the New York Times. And by GE. From satellites to medical systems, we bring good things to life.
Back here at Shea Stadium, you want to see a perfect throw from a catcher. He gets on top, he gets a true carry.
Well, you just can't make it any better than this. Big jump by Finley. Sasser makes a perfect throw. Sasser's problems have never been throwing to bases, just throwing back to the pitcher.
Well, you got to applaud his efforts. I talked about it earlier. He has not shied away from this challenge, and trust me, it is a tough challenge. But boy, he's fought through it. Got to give a lot of credit to Doc Edwards, the catching coach with the Mets. He's out here every day working with Mackey. Dave Magadan takes a strike. Here's Doc, good baseball man.
Someone was telling me they had him throwing a football. Is that true?
Yeah, in Houston, I don't know if they're doing it here in New York. Saw him down in the tunnel in Houston on his knees throwing the ball with Keith Cedro.
He's an outstanding football player.
Fouled out of play. They're going to try everything to get Mackey to overcome that problem.
The one thing about him in football, he didn't have to throw it back to the center.
Now,
Just take it from the center and throw it.
I got a feeling Mackey liked that contact in football.
No doubt about it.
0-2 on Dave Magadan. Mags hits a one-hopper to second base. Ramirez. Oberkfell.
The National League scoreboard on the Nobody Beats the Wiz, and a big win for the New York Mets. The Pirates got beat today, but first San Diego beat Chicago 6-2. San Francisco beating Pittsburgh 4-0, and Cincinnati leading Philadelphia 1-0 in the second. Atlanta against Montreal later, and St. Louis a night game in Los Angeles.
And Greg Jeffries was 1 for 1 today. Steps in, takes the curveball for a strike. Ground ball, nice play, Candell. Flip to first in time. 2 down.
Well, Jeffries having a base hit taken away as he slices this ball toward third. Candell, a good play there. And the throw to first base gets Jeffries. The defense of the Houston Ball Club has picked up miserably.
They have. By the way, talking about Casey Candell's mom, I want to wish all the dads in the audience a happy Father's Day tomorrow. Curveball for a strike.
And on the Nobody Beats the Wiz American League scoreboard, we'll show you the scores there. Boston trounced the California Angels 13-3. Toronto 4, Baltimore 8. So Baltimore winning 8-4 over Toronto. It's Cleveland 3, Minnesota 1 the second. Kansas City later against Chicago. Oakland later against Milwaukee.
2 good curveballs right there. 1 and 2 on McReynolds.
And the Yankees are playing in Texas. Detroit against Seattle. That Oakland score, actually Milwaukee leading 3-2 that game in the 5th.
There's a looping line drive to Ramirez, and that'll do it for the Mets. They go quietly here in the third. 1, 2, 3. We've played 3, and on the Sherwin-Williams scoreboard, 2-0 New York.
Monday on Sports Channel, Howard Johnson's home run swing leads the Mets against Lou Piniella's Cincinnati Reds in the first of a 3-game set. The Mets collide with the Reds live Monday night at 7:30, exclusively on Sports Channel.
Well, the doctor taking his warm-up tosses. We've played 3 innings here at Shea Stadium, and it's 2-0 New York. Leading off for the Astros will be Eric Yelding here in the 4th. And sliding in with the play-by-play, a guy who disappointed me a little bit today because he didn't go to the plate with the bat. Le Grand Orange, what happened?
Well, I was doing interviews in the dugout.
Well, you would have been excused for a moment to go up and take a rip.
Well, I haven't taken a rip in 3 years. I was afraid I was going to take a rip out of my back. It was a pleasure to see all the guys. Everybody wanted to hit. Yelding waiting on Gooden. Ball 1.
It's a good program. Benefits the Bat Foundation, supported by Upper Deck baseball cards.
Gooden decides to hold it up. One ball, no strikes. Mets ahead 2-0, top of the 4th inning. A Sasser single and a Templeton home run. Good pitch by the doctor. 1-1. If you're going to go by how a pitcher starts a game, you have to be encouraged because Gooden's curveball has been extremely good tonight. That one a little bit too quick. The ones he threw to Eric Anthony, he threw 3 of them to Eric Anthony. And y'all were talking about how that's the pitch that Eric Anthony has trouble with. I think Babe Ruth would have had trouble with those 3. High, 3-1.
In the 70s, most pitchers stayed away from that over-the-top curveball. In the 80s, a lot more pitchers embrace that pitch because it's easier on the arm. The only problem is if you don't have it early in the game, it's tough to get it. It's tough to adjust.
Fouled off, full count.
In contrast, the slider is much easier to adjust with during the game if you're struggling with that curve, if you're struggling with the slider. Overhand curveball. The overhand curve, Sid Fernandez overhand curveball. I tell you, there are a lot of pitchers going to it now. Although I talked to Larry Durker, former Astro pitcher, he thinks they should start mixing in some sliders because of that adjustment problem with the curveball.
Full count to Yelding. Strike 3. Gooden gets the corner. Yelding a little semi-leap. But he can leap right back in the dugout because that was a good pitch.
Here's the fastball to Yelding. 91-mile-per-hour fastball. When Doc has that curveball going, as Ralph and Rusty have mentioned, you got it in the back of your mind, and here's Yelding saying, "Oh, I'm going to look for that curveball." Oh, there's the fastball.
Gets another strike. Craig Biggio falls behind 0-1. Is that a bold cut? What do you call that?
I don't know.
Outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, talking about that curveball, a lot of discussions over the years that you hurt your arm with the curveball. If it's thrown properly, you don't extend it, so you shouldn't hurt it.
There's a curve. Howard Johnson has it on 1 hop. Over to Magadan. 2 down.
What you do with the slider is you extend your arm. And if it's thrown improperly, you can hyperextend the elbow area. The fastball, there's been some talk in recent years that maybe the fastball, guys will hurt their arms in the fastball more so than the curveball, but you really don't know unless it really stands on your mind when you hurt your arm, because it's usually the next day you go to the ballpark and say, got a little arm trouble.
Well, every once in a while when you throw a certain pitch,
yeah,
something pops and you know what pitch it was.
Yeah,
but
then you have a problem.
Luis Gonzalez at the plate, 2 down. Ground ball to first. Magadan has it. Will take it himself. A nice quick inning for the doctor. After 3.5, net lead is 2-0. We'll be back.
New York Mets baseball is brought to you in part by your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers.
New York Mets youth camp, as some of the Mets will operate baseball camps throughout the metro area and Long Island for kids ages 7 through 16. So call 516-424-METS and join up for the New York Mets youth camp. And if you want to be the sharp broadcaster of the day, you can join that contest. There'll be 40 lucky winners. They'll all get a chance to call an inning of play-by-play with WFAN's Howie Rose. So you can enter at your sharp dealer.
You know, up here in the broadcast, well, here at Shea Stadium, you can see the scoreboard. They have the old Met team with, they're all on the Ed Sullivan Show singing "You've Got to Have Heart." And the fans here are responding to all the names up there. How about that? They gave every one of those guys a great reception here at Shea.
It wasn't because of the singing.
Oh, no, no. Every one of those guys were well received here at Shea Stadium on the old Ed Sullivan Show.
Well, we said it on the pregame show during the course of the Heroes of Baseball game. But we all want to wish Tom Seaver a quick recovery. Tommy struggling a little bit with his back right now. Spanky, get well soon, pal. Off-speed pitch from Jimmy Jones. Call the ball. Johnson, Brooks, and Sasser to face Jones in the bottom of the 4th inning. Ball 2. Well, the Mets lost the first game of the series. When they did that in San Francisco, they won the next 2. They haven't done well in the second 2 games of a series lately. Maybe they can turn this thing around and win a series. We shall see. That's leading 2-0 in the bottom of the 4th. On a 2-0 count, an off-speed pitch by Jones.
There's that last breaking ball from Jones. It's got a nice overhand curveball.
3-1. If you're watching this game from the dugout or from your sets at home, you can tell that Bob Davidson, the home plate umpire, is giving the pitch that's over the plate, even though it seems like it might be a little bit on the low side. But he's been very consistent with it, especially on the curveballs. Howard Johnson gets a free pass.
Well, more so on the curveball than the fastball. He's given some pretty good curveball strikes to the pitcher.
Yes, he has.
He might get a better look at that fastball.
A leadoff walk for Howard Johnson brings up Brooks.
Right fielder, Hubie Brooks.
Hubie hit a line drive that was caught by Finley. That was in the second. Howard Johnson, decent lead at first. Not going. Strike one.
Like Hubie was going to give him a pitch to run on.
Hubie's an unusual hitter in that you really cannot judge how he's hitting from one swing to the next. He can take some of the worst cuts you've ever seen and get the same pitch and rope it somewhere.
Tough on a catcher calling the game.
Way inside, 1-1.
When you're catching and you see a hitter look real bad on a certain pitch, a lot of times you figure we might be able to get him later on this pitch. Next thing you know, with Hubie, he takes one of those funky rips and hits the ball down the right field line.
Hubie, a 284 hit a lifetime against the Houston Astros, pardon me. 10 home runs, 48 RBIs against them. No contest. Howard Johnson back easily. Jimmy Jones to Hubie Brooks. A good fake by Howard Johnson, and it was a pitch out. 2-1.
Pitchers hate to throw these pitch outs, especially when the catcher's wrong. Here's Hojo faking everybody out. Biggio coming out of the chute in a hurry.
Well, I am sure that Biggio, as most catchers are, you see him looking into the dugout after every swing or
so the coach is
ball.
wrong.
The coaches made that call. There goes Howard. Inside to throw. Howard gets back. He's diving. No, he slides in. What a play by Howard Johnson. He put the brakes on and said, they got me. Turned around and went back to first.
You have to have a special ability. Now watch Howard break. Now he's looking towards the plate. Maybe a missed sign. The thrower goes to second. Howard with that great speed stopped on a dime and got back easily. No throw. He was almost halfway.
Might have thought it was a hit and run. I don't know.
Well, the way he was looking, he had to feel it was a hit and run. So it looked like either Hubie missed a sign or Howard missed a sign.
Well, they got out of the play. It's a 3-1 count. Still nobody out. Not going. Up and in. Ball four. Back-to-back walks by Jimmy Jones. Give the Mets 2 free passes. Men on first and second and nobody out. And Sasser, who singled his first time up at the plate.
How about Mackey Sasser throwing the ball to second base to cut down Steve Finley in the 3rd inning.
Excellent throw.
Bob Buck on his way out to the mound. Mackey with a hit in his ball game.
Now the Astro bullpen is going to have some action. Dwayne Henry. That's your man out in the bullpen. We've talked a little bit on the trip when we were in Houston about Bob Gluck and what the Astros feel of him. He's had some of these youngsters in the minor leagues. They've come up to the big leagues, and they feel he's done a real fine job working with the young pitching staff of the Houston Astros. They have a lot of good arms, but the big question is, do they know how to pitch? Have they learned how to win? This is what any young staff has to learn. Having the raw talent is one thing, learning how to use it is another. Line shot, base hit by Sasser. Howard Johnson hit a hold up. The throw coming in. He hit a hold because it was a liner. He had to make sure the ball got through the infield. It's not a mistake. He's got to hold. So we now have the bases loaded and nobody out. And the man who hit a 2-run home run to put the Mets on the board coming to the plate.
Yeah, Mackey Sasser picking up his second hit of the ball game, a rope in the right field. And Hojo had a hold on at third base, so bases loaded with Mets. Nobody out. Fourth inning.
Off-speed pitch. Templeton hits it, but it's foul and out of play. Strike one.
Have you seen a hitter with a more relaxed swing than Gary Templeton?
He has always been that way. Almost seems nonchalant. But it wasn't so nonchalant last time up, was it?
Might take some of the heat off of Kevin McReynolds.
Again fouled off, this time to the left side, out of play. So Templeton in the hole, no balls and 2 strikes.
And here's his last at bat. Here it is. Pitch down. Gary Templeton throwing the head of the bat on the ball, driving the ball over the wall about 375 feet from home plate. 2-run dinger.
Got to make some contact. He does. It's popped up again. Will it stay in the park? Candell at the bag, at the dugout, I mean, and he cannot get there. Candell did the one thing you have to do on a play like that. He got to the dugout in a hurry. We've talked many times about trying to time a play or drifting toward the ball. If you drift into the dugout, you can kill yourself.
Here it is again. Watch Candell get over to the dugout. And the ball's out of reach.
Still no balls and 2 strikes. Net base runners have to protect against the line drive. Little chopper. They're going to try it for 2, and they will not get it. Templeton beats it out. Mets score another run, and they now lead 3-0.
And Templeton now with another RBI, 3 RBIs on the night. Here it is. You don't have a prayer for Hojo at home. I mean, he can fly. Candell making a nice play going to the force at second. Too late at first base. Templeton beating the throw.
Now batting number 16,
3-zip Mets.
So the doctor comes to the plate with a chance to help his own cause. So he grounded out in the second. The outfield showing good and quite a lot of respect. Back to the pitcher. Double play chance here to the shortstop, to the first baseman. Mark at 1-6-3. It's a DP. Houston is out of the inning. The Mets did get on the board with another run. And after 4, they lead the Astros 3-0.
Well, and now today's headlines from the new sports section of the New York Times. Burkow on Air Jordan. That's Ira Burkow. Leroy Burrell, the fastest man alive, worthy in the Lakers, reach new terms. Burrell setting an all-time record in 100 meters yesterday here in New York, beating Carl Lewis. And we have a new left fielder.
That blow to the elbow of Kevin McReynolds must be swelling. They're going to get some ice on it. Mark Carrion taking over in left. This young fellow saying, come on, hit me one. I'm ready. I got my glove. He's got his Scully, too, in case he misses it.
And right here on Sports Channel, June 27th, it's going to be Youth Baseball Day in conjunction with the New York Mets. We should have an interesting pregame and postgame centered around youth baseball, and the game will be directed to youth baseball in the metropolitan area. Looking forward to that.
Top of the 5th inning, Mets ahead 3-0. Ken Obertfeld waiting on the doctor. strike one. Doctor has struck out 4 and given up only 2 hits so far. One was a leadoff single by Steve Finley. Strike 2. If Gooden gets to throwing well, take a look at this swing and a miss.
Sometimes when you're even a good hitter in the major leagues, you're overmatched.
It looked like he was looking for a little bit of a hook right there. A little waster fastball outside. If Gooden gets going, it takes an awful lot of pressure off the other people. Sid Fernandez is supposed to be throwing okay. They expect him to be back after the All-Star break.
It'll change the atmosphere in the ball club when the Doctor wins.
Whoa. Up and in. 2-2.
The atmosphere is not real good in the clubhouse now because the Mets are not winning the way they should be winning. They're not hitting the way they would like to be hitting.
When you don't win, the clubhouse is not good. Tapper back to the mound. Easy play for Doc. With a Magadan one down.
And the players, the hitters feel they're letting down the pitching. And talking to the hitters today, they feel they're letting down the Met pitching staff, not scoring runs.
The hitters had a good stretch on this road trip. They scored some runs. Pitching had a little bit of a trouble.
Yeah.
But the Mets have not played well at home. Last year, a very dominant team at home. This year, struggling. Rafael Ramirez, strike 1. Ramirez grounded to Templeton in his first at bat in the 2nd inning. Oof, another good hook.
Again, we showed it before. Casey Candel did it. When a pitcher throws a breaking ball like that and the legs buckle and the hands come in and collapse, the hitter might as well take the pitch. Because if he hits it, he's not going to hit it past Gooden.
0-2. Ground ball or short. Tempe, the Magadan, 2 down.
A nice day today. The old timers playing an old timers game here. Supported by Upper Deck baseball cards, benefiting the Bat Foundation. Honored the 1986 champions, along with the 69, 73 champions. Nice day here at Shea Stadium. Been in a pregame show. Nice relaxed conversation with the Mad Dog.
I missed that. I was sorry I missed it. He had his energy going.
He was ready.
One ball, no strikes. Outside, ball 2. Christopher Russo, having to work on a terrific radio station, has kind of a wimp working in the morning, though.
Yeah, everybody else is good.
That guy, Imo, what's his name, Don Imus?
I'm not sure.
Ground ball is short. Templeton throws out Magadan. After 4 innings, Mets lead 3-1 on your Toyota scoreboard. We'll be back.
Introducing the new 1992 Paseo from Toyota. It's a practical, sensible car.
Women dig it.
For people who know their limitations.
Let's party.
And can appreciate performance.
16 valves, 100 horsepower.
In moderation. So don't expect a lot of excitement.
It's a blast.
Just good, basic transportation.
Women dig it.
At a price we're too modest to mention.
Starting under 10 grand.
We think you'll probably like it.
You'll love it.
The all-new Paseo, a very practical car from Toyota.
Jack Shea and Partners used to be in a skyscraper.
Jack, it's Tokyo.
Now it's next to a dairy farm.
Mr. Hasegawa.
Eating out has taken on a whole new meaning. But if the pace is slower, business is not. With AT&T, international data moves fast, and AT&T video conferencing's a smart alternative to overseas travel. And that's helping business a lot more than a fancy address.
Jack, need a lift?
Nah, I think I'll walk.
A world of help from AT&T.
As cars get older, they may need higher and higher octane to perform like they used to. But there is a gasoline specially formulated to control this higher octane need while providing the highest level of engine cleanliness. Texaco System 3. You get great performance in every octane grade.
Still think all gasolines are the same?
This is a public notice. Disregard every price in our circular and in our stores and earn instant cash rebates. The recession ends now.
Now Boston at the plate. Bottom of the 5th inning. Mets ahead 3-0. Turns around and tries to dump a bunt down the third baseline. Strike one.
So you were saying about the gentleman on radio? We had Mad Dog on, by the way, today. Did a nice job.
Well, I understand that someone said that they were gonna, if we mention Imo,
Mr. Imus?
Mr. Imo, if we mention his name, he was going to come up here and do what to us?
We can't say that.
Just outside, 1-1. Well, your name is mentioned. Come on and bring your entourage, will you? You're going to need it.
He says he's going to drive out here.
And whoop something, right?
That's right. Charles McCord will leave him off at the door and say, go upstairs.
There's a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Darryl Boston. Gee, I've never seen anybody have such a big bark and no bite.
When we go after him, you know, those guys are the ones who allow us in the back door. They tell us to sneak up on them. Charlie McCord, Bernard.
Way inside. Gooden has thrown some tough pitches inside himself tonight. Crowd enthusiastic tonight. A 2-2 count. Popped up to the infield. Casey Candell calling everybody off. 1 down.
You know, Rusty, the interviews you had downstairs with some of the ex-Mets, great interviews, by the way, on the pregame show or prior to the pregame show. Don Clendenin, Ray Knight, Tug McGraw. Everybody was reminiscing about their championship years. Thing I remember about 1986, crowds like this getting into the game. And the other night on the post-game show, I had Sid Bream. He said the big thing about getting a lead here at Shea Stadium is take the crowd out of the game. How many ballparks in baseball did you went to and hear something like that?
The good ones. Fly ball deep to center. Finley going back. He's going to have room. And that's the second out of the inning.
Back in '86, this place, of course, it's been jumping since '86, but just amazing in 1986, the excitement here at Shea.
Well, it's a great crowd. It's a great night for baseball. Ideal weather. As Bob Murphy would say, beautiful day at Big Shea.
Yeah, I want to thank Murph for joining us on Sports Channel, for helping us out. Upper deck.
Yes, the big crowd.
So Murph joined us, and Mr. Staub did some interviews in the dugout. Mr. Kiner was in the visiting dugout in his yellow blazer. He looked dapper today, didn't he?
He did. That was one of his new conservative coats. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 down. Jeffries takes ball 2. A fine play by Candell at third. Robbed Jeffries of a hit. That was his last time up. 2 balls, 1 strike. He singled his first time up. Off speed, pitch it high and deep down the right field line. Will it stay fair? No. You could tell because Jeffries did not leave the batter's box very far.
It's amazing how your nervous system reacts when you hit a ball like that.
Anticipation.
Oh. Doing a little body English.
2-2. Jeffries waiting. Good changeup this time. Jeffries way out front. After 5 innings, that's ahead 3-0. We'll be back.
quick programming note, on June 24th, there'll be Mad Dog Live here on Sports Channel. The audience is live, too, I believe. Live audience.
With the dog, that should be interesting. Casey Candell will lead off the top of the 6th inning.
Of course, the only type of audience you have is live, I believe.
Candell, .333 in his last 21 games. Fly ball. As Francis would say, can of corn. 1 down.
What do you think about this movie they're coming out with, Rusty? We're talking about Casey Candell's mom, a baseball player, and they're going to produce a movie on women in baseball. Madonna's going to be the star.
Is that right?
Yeah. I bet she can hit.
I don't know how to react to that right now. I'm going to have to think about that one. There's a strike. Jimmy Jones hitting for himself.
Deborah Winger will be in the movie. Kind of like that movie.
Well, I know one thing. They got 2 pretty good-looking women in it.
Yes, they do.
I don't know what it's going to have to do with baseball, but
we're going to see the movie anyways.
No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Up and in. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes. And fans would like to remind you that Mets baseball is brought to you by Manufacturers Hanover, where your money has power. Strike 3 by Gooden. Fastball just beat Jimmy Jones. That'll be 2 down and strikeout number 5 for Gooden.
You might be technical director or a consultant to that movie.
I think we should get off that movie. We wish him a lot of success. Hope it's good. 2 down, top of the 6th.
Can't wait to see that movie.
Finley waiting on Gooden. Breaking ball, ball 1. Houston Astros with their new ballpark, new heights of fence. Been a little surprised by some of the power some of their players have shown. That ball chopped foul. Ball and a strike.
Well, one guy that really opened their eyes is Gonzalez. They're kind of disappointed that they did decide to move the fences back. They feel he's a kid that could hit 30 home runs. Talking about Luis Gonzalez. Steve Finley with a little pop in his bat. Only 4 home runs, but playing in that ballpark's going to be disheartening to a hitter.
Jeff Bagwell, the young hitter,
yeah,
that won a job in spring training. Pitch out of the zone, 2-1.
Of course, Ken Caminetti.
Yep.
Once they traded Glenn Davis, they felt they traded away their home run hitter. So let's move the fences back.
Well, they'll live with it this year. We'll see what happens. Good pitch by Gooden, down and in, just beats him. That's Ken Caminetti. Eric Anthony. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Crowd wants a strikeout. Tapper back to Doc. Quick pickup. Little toss to Magadan. Nice inning for the doctor again. He's pitching very well tonight. After 5.5, Mets still lead 3-0.
New York Mets baseball is brought to you in part by GE. From plastics to financial services, we bring good things to life. And by New York Telephone, who reminds you we are all connected.
Carry On will lead off. Carry On replacing McReynolds. McReynolds hit on the elbow by a Jimmy Jones pitch his first time up. curveball. Good pitch by Jones. Strike one. See his average 268, 3 home runs, 4 RBIs. Those all as a pinch hitter. Little ball inside. 1-1. Mets have one break. San Francisco defeated Pittsburgh today 4-0. That pitch was not that far outside. Biggio just missed it. I guess sometimes you're trying to pull the pitch and get the call so you don't pull the glove out far enough. I don't know. Tell me.
And sometimes you take your eye off the ball and there might be a little movement to the ball. Might sail a little bit.
Ooh, breaking ball.
I'll tell you the pitch that used to give me a problem. A left-hander's fastball inside to a right-handed hitter. Every now and then you take your eye off the ball, and you know, because you catch so many pitches, and what happens at the last moment it sails, hits the tip of the glove, and you know what? You get a PB, pass ball.
Ground ball to short. Oh, through the legs of Eric Yelding. So carry on and the Mets get a break. And that'll be an error for the shortstop.
Well, Yelding
rules of the game, so you're supposed to stay down on the ball, right, Francis?
Yes, stay down. It's easier to come up than it is to go down. Yelding looked like he didn't take that eye. No, he didn't take the eye off the ball. Ball just stayed down.
He stayed up.
Came up a little bit too soon. That is a basic error. Right through the legs.
Howard Johnson getting the signs from Mike Covage. Took a little time doing that. Jimmy Jones. Now he's ready. Hard shot, fair ball, extra bases. Down in the hole. Oh, and it's a bad play by the right fielder, and Carry-On's going to be sent home. The relay throw is not caught by Rafael Ramirez, and the Mets score a run, and Howard Johnson is in at third with a triple. The crowd loves it. Eric Anthony had a little trouble. That's a tough corner.
I'm going to tell you something. That ball was hit so hard, Ken Oberthal was happy the ball was not hit directly at him. Watch this. This ball just rockets off his bat. Right down the right field line, gets into the corner, and Carry-On scores. And Howard Johnson, after Carry-On scores, easily travels to third base with a triple. But that ball was scorched. If that ball was hit directly at Ken Oberthal, that ball is like a knuckleball. That's going to handcuff you.
Bob Cluck out again. Talk to Jimmy Jones. Now that bullpen is extremely active.
With the Houston Astros, the coaching staff is more important than with most clubs because you have so many young players on your team. Your coaches have to travel out to talk to you, talk to guys a lot more in the dugout than with a veteran club. You kind of nurse young players through their first 1 or 2 years in the big leagues. Or guys that have struggled, you want them to get their feet on the ground in a positive manner.
Well, this is a major waste of time just to try to get that bullpen ready. Home plate umpire Bob Davidson out saying, you getting pizza after the game?
Bob Davidson talking to the
Say, let's go. It's time now. I've let you waste enough time. I get back in the dugout.
You do have some pretty good conversations on the mound with the umpire. It has nothing to do with the game. Those are the conversations I liked. You're not talking about anything. Wasting time out on the mound. Every now and then you get serious on the mound, and the pitcher knows what you're talking about. He knows before you start talking to him about it. Get on top. He wants to get on top. Make a good pitch. He wants to make a good pitch. Some of those meetings are overrated on the mound.
Still nobody out. Infield playing in. Doobie Brooks takes strike one. Doobie 0 for 1 with a walk. With nobody out, Howard Johnson at third will in all likelihood let the ball go through. That one went through, but it's hooking into the seats. The ball carried a long way. So Jones ahead 0-2, looking for the strikeout. When you're in the batter's box now, you're just saying, come on, let's make some contact. It's infield's in. Just hit it crisply anywhere. We got a heck of a chance to get another run in. Pitcher, on the other hand, says, make him hit a tough pitch.
That's a lot of times you bounce that tough pitch.
Yep. Ground ball is short. Howard has to hold. And Yelding throws out Brooks. One down.
That's why in a situation like this, the catcher has to have, or the pitcher has to have complete confidence in his catcher. He has to have confidence where he can throw any pitch, even if he's going to bounce the ball, not intentionally, but he feels this might bounce. Well, you got to throw it because you have to have confidence in that catcher. And if you don't, you're not going to be a good pitcher.
Sasser 2 for 2. Singled twice and scored. Sasser really getting an opportunity here and taking advantage of it. This a little loop, but this might be trouble. The center fielder coming hard. Yelding going out. Yelding can't hold on to it. That's going to be 3 hits for Sasser and a 5-0 lead for the Mets.
Well, you got to pull for a guy like Mackey Sasser, a guy that's been fighting all the odds, trying to get that simple toss back to the pitcher down. And here he picks up his 3rd hit of the game. Yelding with a nice effort. Probably should have caught that ball. Take another look. Ball hit the glove, bounced out. Why don't you give Mackey Sasser hitting an RBI? Rusty was talking about the infield in. It favors the hitter. That's a great example.
Templeton with 1 out and a runner at first. Chopper, this could be a DP. Ramirez tags the runner and goes on the first to get Templeton. It's not a smart base running play by Mackey Sasser, but it was a smart hit. And it added a 2nd run in that inning. Mets ahead 5-0. We'll be back. That young fan liking what he or she sees. I can't tell. But we're in the top of the 7th, and that means our Hall of Fame announcer comes in for the play-by-play, Ralph Kiner.
All right, Rusty, and thank you very much. You were outstanding in the old-timers game.
You're right. I didn't make an out. I didn't embarrass myself, and I didn't get hurt.
You were so outstanding, you were left out.
Good choice.
Jimmy Jones.
It was a good choice by Yogi Berra.
Well, your team was ahead. They wanted to save you just in case the World Series Stars tied it up and it had to go into extra innings. Here you're using very good baseball knowledge right there. Mets leading 5-0. Doc Gooden working to Eric Yelding, and first pitch hit in the center field. Boston from a shallow position is right there. Darryl Boston playing center field. Vince Coleman out with a slight strain of the hamstring. Boston responded with a double, his first at bat on his first pitch as he led off the ball game.
In the game 2 nights ago, Ralph, on Sports Channel, we saw Coleman try to extend that first base to beat out a hit, and you could see that he was a little bit limpish when he went toward the dugout.
And now the batter Biggio, an idea about bunting, takes for ball 1. Biggio in this game 0 for 2. Astros with 2 hits, a single by Finley as he led off in the first, and a single by Gonzalez as he led off in the second, and that's been it.
There was a chopper in the 5th inning, and a nice play by the second baseman Mark Lemke. Got him at the bag. He tried to really take that long stride. He hit first base, and you could see, we talked about it, he was limping a little bit going back to the dugout.
Biggio gets a fastball but is unable to handle it, fouls it back, and the count 1-2. Biggio started this game hitting .317. Gooden misses with a fastball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Biggio against right-hand pitching, hitting .333 this year. And the curveball hit hard as Biggio hangs in there. That was not a good curveball by the doctor. But Biggio out in front, and he pulls it foul, 2-2.
That's one of the few that Doc has thrown tonight that, hey, he's had some terrific breaking balls tonight.
5 strikeouts in the ball game. He has not walked a batter. Goes back to the curve and misses. 3-2 to Biggio.
And one of the other things tonight too, Ralph, is that he has been ahead of the hitters.
The 3-2 pitch. Grounded out to third. Johnson will have to hurry. The throw is in time.
Howard Johnson showing that that gun is still alive and ready.
So Johnson gets the assist. 2 men out. We're in the top of the 7th inning. The Mets leading 5-0, and the batter will be Luis Gonzalez, who has a base hit and 2 at-bats. Gonzalez against the doctor has now had 4 hits and 9 at-bats. Mets leading 5-0. Houston has won their last 4 ball games in their last at bat. They have won 9 this year in their last at bat. This ball really drilled. Curveball hit hard to right. It'll be at least a 2-base hit. Gonzalez to second base and holding there. So Gonzalez picking up the 3rd hit for Houston and his 2nd.
They're very high on this young man. This is why. As that fastball gets out in front. Hits it over UB Brooks. One hop on the fence. Shows good speed going into second easily.
Gonzalez came into this game hitting .227 with 6 home runs and 26 RBIs. And Sasser and Johnson talking with the doctor. 2 men away, runner at second. Mets leading 5-0. And Ken Oberkfell, the batter. Ken is 0 for 2. Oberkfell with a lifetime average at .265 against the Mets with 4 home runs. Gooden starts him off with a curve, a fly ball to left field. Carry on is there. And we carry on to the bottom half of the 7th. The Mets leading 5-0.
New York Mets baseball is brought to you in part by MetLife. Get Met, it pays. By RCA Color Track 2000 Home Theater TV. RCA, changing entertainment again. And by AT&T Long Distance. All you need to reach out.
Let's check the Nobody Beats the Wiz scoreboard. In the National League, a final 6-2 San Diego over Chicago. As we said earlier, San Francisco beat Pittsburgh 4-0. Cincinnati 3-1 in the 6th over Philadelphia. Atlanta trailing 1-0 in Montreal in the 4th. St. Louis at Los Angeles later tonight. In the American League, California lost to Boston 13-3. Baltimore 8, Toronto 4. Minnesota 7, Cleveland 5. That's in the 4th.
And Gooden, the first batter for the Mets.
Here's some more scores. Kansas City 3-0 over Chicago in the 2nd. Oakland trailing Milwaukee 6-3 in the 8th. See New York ahead of Texas just getting underway, and a shot in the gap.
This will be extra bases for the doctor. Finley chasing it down. Gooden going to second and holding there. Not Gooden. Leads off with a double.
The doctor gets the bat head out. He's been mad because he has not really been swinging the bat as well as he'd like to. This time he does hit the gap with a good line drive. And I'll tell you, that's going to do it for Jimmy Jones.
5th base hit for the Doctor this year, and it appears that he has knocked Jimmy Jones right out of the box. Mets leading by a score of 5-0. They have 5 runs on 8 base hits. And this call to the bullpen is sponsored by the New York Telephone, who reminds you that we're all connected.
All right, a new first baseman, Bagwell, in the game. Little double switch pull. Dwayne Henry on the mound. A 2-0 record, a 3.20 earned run average, and he has 2 saves. In 25 1/3 innings, he's given up 18 hits, walked 20. That's a lot. And he struck out 18. So Dwayne Henry has control problems.
And Dwayne Henry, not Butch Henry, who also is in the Houston organization and now pitching at Tucson. Henry, not on the major league roster, was invited to spring training and made the club. Last year with Atlanta, he was 2-2 with no saves, with an earned run average of 5.63 in 34 ball games. He also was at Richmond. He was originally selected by Texas in the 2nd round of the June 1980 draft. And his first batter will be Darryl Boston. Boston 1 for 3 tonight. And he goes after the first pitch and fouls it back at home plate. Biggio is there and he can't make the play.
Biggio going back right at the wall. He knows where he is, but he can't get a ticket to get that far in. Actually, might not have seen that all the way. That was about a row deep. He had a little time. He came a long way for it, and that ball was drifting a little bit.
He had to readjust there at the last minute, and then of course the gloves got in his way in the stands. And the pitch back by Henry, a ball, and it's 1-1.
Nobody out, a 5-run lead. Boston, the man on second base, should be aggressive, trying to pull his ball hard.
And he fouls that one away, so it's 1-2. Boston has done well against Houston in his short career in the National League, hitting .355 with 2 home runs. 1 for 3 in tonight's ball game. Doubled on the first pitch of the game by Jimmy Jones, but was thrown out trying to go from second to third on a fly ball to center. Art Howell, the manager of Houston, and Henry misses with a fastball. 2-2. Mets can pick up a full game on the Pirates, who lost today to San Francisco. Mets, if they win, 5.5 games back of Pittsburgh. And he pulls it hard, a base hit right on the line, and it'll be extra bases. Gooden scored. Gooden scores as he had doubled, and Boston with his 2nd double of the ball game.
John McSherry at first saw the dust go up right on the line. Boom. He says it's a fair ball. Doctor comes in easily. There's another angle right on that line.
So the Mets now lead at 6-0. That run goes against Jimmy Jones's record, and the pitch to Magadan popped up into shallow right field. Anthony is there, and he makes the catch as Boston goes back to the bag at second. So Magadan 0 for 4 in this game, having a tough time.
Second baseman, Greg Jeffries.
That'll bring up Greg Jeffries. Jeffries with a base hit in 3 at-bats. Singled in the first inning. And he takes a fastball for ball 1. Jeffries robbed of a base hit in the 3rd inning on a fine play by Candell, the 3rd baseman. Dwayne Henry back, and the fastball a strike. Mets trying to even their record at 2-2 on this homestand. They are under 500 at home, 13-14, and there's a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike. Jeffries takes again, ball 3, 3-1.
See if Jeffries gets the fastball.
And it's popped up. The shortstop yelling right there. Jeffries out. Austin again back to second, and with 2 men out, the batter will be Mike Carrion. Carrion replacing Kevin McReynolds, who was hit by a pitch ball in the first inning. Kevin stayed in the ball game, but then left after his next at bat. Carrion has batted once, and he was safe on an error by the shortstop Yelding. Later on scored a run on Howard Johnson's triple.
Some of those upper deck old timer cards. Taking a look through.
And Carrion takes a strike. Another fastball, 1 ball, 1 strike. McReynolds was hit just above the left elbow, and we have not had a report on him, but he did stay in the ball game for a while, but there was evidence of some heavy swelling on that arm. And that's ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike.
And around that elbow area, there's not much. I don't know of a place you can get hit where it's not a problem.
Not much meat there. Austin at second, 2 men out. Mets leading 6-0. And this ball fouled back into the stands. Mets batting in the bottom of the 7th inning. Good crowd here tonight. 41,709 paid. Total in the house 42,804. So a good crowd here for the 2nd night in a row. For the Houston Astros last night, 35,497 paid. 2-2 pitch. Carrion bounces it up the middle, fielded by Ramirez, and the throw to first base retires the side. So the Mets get 1 run. On 2 hits, they leave 1. And on the Sherwin-Williams scoreboard, it's the Mets 6 and the Astros nothing.
Second baseman, Rafael
Ramirez will lead it off for Houston as they bat here in the top of the 8th inning. The Mets leading by a score of 6-0. Remember, when you're having good times with good friends, drink responsibly, because friends know when to say when. A reminder from your friends at Budweiser. Ramirez 0 for 2. He has grounded out to the shortstop, Gary Templeton, the 2 times he has been up. Doc Gooden on the mound has given up no runs, allowed 3 hits while striking out 5. He has had 2 complete games this year, and he came into this game with a record of 5-5. And a fly ball hit the right on the first pitch. Brooks makes the catch, 1 pitch, 1 away as Ramirez is out. Doctor has not
Right
walked
fielder
him
Eric
back.
Anthony.
And he'll now pitch to Eric Anthony, who is 0 for 2. Anthony struck out on the curveball his first time up. And the fastball for a ball.
In the game in the Dome, the Doctor tried to throw some high heat by Eric Anthony. That's the one he turned on and hit way up on that screen. Would have been a home run under the old fences.
Off the end of the bat and going foul. And Sasser touches it in foul territory to make it a foul ball, and it's 1-1.
Turned out to be an extra base hit, but not a dinger.
He hasn't had many against the Mets. He is 3 for 40 against the Mets in his major league career.
If Gene Mauch was the manager, you could never pick that bat up and give it to the hitter. Nor if you were the hitter could you pick up the mask and give it to the catcher. He says, we're not out here having fun.
This is not a picnic, and the curveball.
That guy's trying to get you out. You're going to pick his mask up? Come on.
Kick it away.
Step on it.
Catchers will step on your bat to break it.
Yeah, it's happened many times.
2 balls, 1 strike. And Anthony pops it up. Carry on in left field. 2 fly balls, 2 men out.
The general was tough. Gene Mauch. You got to understand his philosophy, though. There's people out there to beat you. Why should you do something courteous for them?
Oh, he didn't invent that philosophy. It was done a long time ago, but he certainly advocated it. Try playing him golf on the golf course. You get nothing.
He can play. He can play with you, Ralph, and that's tough.
Makes his home in Palm Springs and manages to see a little action on the links. As Casey Candell takes a strike. Candell 0 for 2.
A lot of remarks about Gene Mauch, you know, positive and negative. I can only tell you that no manager taught me more about the game than Gene Mauch. I thought he was great.
He knows the game, and this one a fly ball to center, so it's 1 for each outfielder, and the 1-2-3 inning for Doc Gooden. And the score on the Sherwin-Williams scoreboard: the Mets 6, the Astros nothing.
Mets fans, travel the Shea in style all summer long with the New York Met flight bag, courtesy of Sharp Electronics. On Sunday, June 30th, when the Mets take on the Phillies, that's at 1:40 p.m. All fans 15 and over will receive a beautiful flight bag featuring the Mets script logo. Call Ticketmaster at 718-507-0303 to charge tickets by phone, or 718-507-TIXX for more information.
And Met fans, some of America's favorite candies have teamed up with the Mets to offer you a sweet ticket deal. Bring 6 wrappers from Leaf Candy brands to Shea Stadium's advanced ticket window and trade them for an upper-level reserve ticket to any Mets home game in July. Leaf Candy brands include Milk Duds, Jolly Rancher Candies, Payday, Health Bar, Rainbow Gum, and other participating Leaf brands. Look for the display wherever Leaf Candies are sold, or visit the Mets Customer Relations booth at Shea Stadium for details. Tickets subject to availability. Void where prohibited. Bottom of the 8th inning, the Mets leading 6-0. And for the Mets, it'll be Howard, should say Mark Carey. Wait a minute. It's got to be Howard Johnson leading off. And the first pitch to Johnson, taken high. Johnson tripled his last time up, 1 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Actually 2 runs scored and an RBI. Now with 40 runs batted in the year. And Henry's fastball. 2 balls, no strikes. Another fastball. This one in the strike zone. 2 balls and 1 strike. Dwayne Henry on the mound for Houston, replacing Jimmy Jones, who went the first 6, charged with 6 runs on 8 hits, struck out 2, walked 2. Henry has pitched 1 inning for Houston. Now working in his 2nd. And this one popped up. Ramirez back in the shallow left field. Run off the play by Gonzalez, the left fielder. And an out. That'll bring up Hubie Brooks, who is 0 for 2 with a walk. That's about hit Houston 9-3 in this game. With Brooks hitless. Strike 1 is Hubie guessing fastball gets the curve and chases it in the dirt. Boy, if there's anybody that guesses, it's Hubie. Or a better word, anticipates. It makes it sound better. Again, the breaking ball, and a good one, strike 2. Never forget talking to Ted Williams one time, and Stan Musial said, "Did you guess when you were hitting?" He says, "I guess I guessed." And the pitch grounded foul, so the count stays at strike 2.
If you study pitchers and you see what they do in a pattern, if you remember how they pitch you, a lot of people kept extremely good records on the rotation of pitches that a pitcher would throw them. You go over that from time to time. You do have a pattern that a pitcher falls into, and you do anticipate what's coming.
And the 2-strike pitch, and he gets him with a slider. So Dwayne Henry picks up a strikeout, his first since coming in the game in the 7th inning. And that'll bring up Mackey Sasser, and he gets a big hand. 3 for 3 in tonight's game.
Well, that smile you saw on Doc Gooden's face, and that little grin by Mel Stottlemyre, you know they feel awfully good tonight. This is really a tremendous story. Sasser tonight.
He takes his strike.
After a long wait, he finally gets a start. He's 3 for 3.
Well, the Mets had to do 1 of 2 things. They had to start him or get somebody else that could hit left-handed, because the right-handed catchers, right-handed hitting catchers, just can't do it.
Well, when you have a lifetime 306 hitter against right-handed pitching, where are you going to go, Ralph?
Well, the easy way is to put Sasser in the lineup. It's amazing he hasn't been in there before. And he chops it out to first base. Bagwell finally picks it up, and Sasser out for the first time in this game. 3 for 4 for the night. So the Mets go in order in the 8th, and the score at the end of 8. It's the Mets 6 and Houston nothing. Gooden on the mound as we go to the top of the 9th. The doctor trying to pitch a complete game and pick up a shutout as he leads by a score of 6-0. And his first batter will be Jeff Bagwell. Gooden has given up no runs on 3 hits, a base hit in the first, a base hit in the second, and a base hit in the 7th. No Mets pitcher has pitched a complete game shutout this year, and Gooden with a chance to do it here as he comes up with the first pitch. It's grounded to Templeton, and Bagwell, batting for the first time, grounds out on his first pitch.
Center fielder Steve Finley.
So 1 pitch and 1 away. We go to the top of the batting order, and Steve Finley will be the batter. Finley 1 for 3 tonight. Had a base hit leading off the game. Then was out on a double play ground ball. Gonzalez with the second base hit in the second inning. And then the third hit off the Doctor in the seventh inning, a double by Gonzalez. So Gonzalez with 2 of the 3 hits for Houston, and the first pitch is strike. Finley hitting .293, and he fouls that pitch, so it's strike 2.
Sasser must have been hit by that foul tip. To look at it. I don't know what happened there. Something weird happened.
Dirt got in his face, I guess.
Just some dirt got in his eyes.
2-strike pitch. And it's popped up in foul territory. Sasser coming hard, tries to make the play, and he can't do it as Johnson gets out of his way, and Johnson looks hurt. Johnson hurt his right knee, and he's having trouble getting up. Johnson limping up. Now limping back as he strained that right knee, and he might be in trouble. He's a gamer, though. He doesn't give up.
Howard saw Mackey coming as hard as he could, and he got out of the way. But in doing so, I don't know if it's a cramp. Both guys going extremely hard. Howard finally takes a look and says, "I'm out of here." But you see, as he slides over, Sasser doesn't hold on to the ball. Here's Mackey coming hard. He says, "I got it." You hear him saying it. Howard got out of the way. Just could not hold on to it. Good effort by both guys.
And Johnson appears to be all right. Count remains at strike 2 on the foul ball on Finley. Doctor has struck out 5. And a fly ball to deep right field. Brooks back near the warning track is there, and he makes the play. So Houston down to their last out. That'll bring up Eric Yelding. Yelding in this game 0 for 3. And the fastball for a ball. There's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yelding hitting .255. Bud Harrelson. And Doc Gooden. Gooden with a chance to pick up his 125th career win. And it's grounded to third, and this should do it. Johnson to Magadan. The tag is made, and the ball game is over. Doc Gooden with a shutout, the first one by a Mets this year with a complete game. The Mets have had 2 other shutouts. Both of them were combined. And Gooden now with 125 Major League victories. He's lost just 51. All-time percentage leader in the history of Major League Baseball. And Gooden getting his 6th victory of the year against 5 losses, breaking a long slump as he picks up the victory on a very strong 3-hitter. No walks, 5 strikeouts, and the Doctor the winning pitcher. The loser, Jimmy Jones, who was drafted ahead of the Doctor. Gooden going as the 5th choice. Jimmy Jones going as the 3rd choice in the draft the year the 2 were drafted. And Jimmy Jones now with a record of 4 wins and 4 losses. We'll be back with the recap right after these messages. Well, the Mets won it by a score of 6-0. Doc Gooden winning the ball game is now 13-4 against the Houston Astros in his Major League career, and his first win of his 125 victories in the Major Leagues coming against Houston.
I'll tell you, everybody in the whole Met clubhouse is resting much easier. It was such a tough stretch for the doctor. It's hard to conceive that as somebody who really did not seem like he was throwing the ball poorly as far as velocity was concerned. He just was getting behind on the hitters. His curveball would work, you know, periodically, but not with any consistency. And you just can't believe that a guy that with all that talent could have that longer struggle, but he did. But he's out of it now. He had 2 good games in a row against Houston. Tonight's game, superlative game.
And Doc Gooden, of course, a winning pitcher now with a record of 6-5. And as the Texaco star of the game, how about 2?
Well, we're going to go with 2 because it was a great night before Doc Gooden, who got his 6th victory through a shutout, 3 hits, 5 strikeouts, and the guy he's shaking hands with, Mackey Sasser, 3 for 4 with an RBI and a great throw to second to throw out Finley in the 3rd inning. They are our Texaco stars of the game. We'll be back.
Well, Doc Gooden pitched his shutout, but that doesn't mean you can win. You got to get some runs. And the Budweiser play of the game was Gary Templeton as he drove this ball out of the ballpark. Mackey Sasser had started the inning with a single, and Templeton with his first home run as a New York Mets has the Budweiser play of the game as he puts it out of the ballpark. His 2nd home run of the year. Sasser scoring in front, and the Mets took a 2-0 lead and went on to win it by a score of 6-0. So Templeton paying some dividends starting at shortstop tonight.
Yep, a couple of shakeups in the lineup. McReynolds leaving with a bruise on his elbow, was hit on a pitch by Jimmy Jones. Carry on came in the game, but Boston getting a start in center because of the injury to Vince Coleman. The guy's doing a good job. He started the game off with a double, got another hit in the game, a double, and drove in runs. So there were some very good things that happened to the New York Mets tonight. But we'll be back.
New York Mets baseball has been brought to you by your Greater Tri-State Sherwin-Williams paint stores. There's only one paint this good, and there's only one place you can get it. The pros know. Ask Sherwin-Williams. By your Tri-State New York Toyota dealers. I love what you do for me, Toyota. By Texaco System 3 gasolines. Texaco, star of the American road. By Chevy trucks. More people are winning with a heartbeat of America. By Nobody Beats the Whiz. For everything in home electronics, music, and movies, nobody beats the Whiz. By your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer. By Manufacturers Hanover, where your money has power. And by Budweiser, the king of beers, who reminds you friends know when to say when.
Gooden shuts out the Astros 6-0. And fans, after every game this season, points will be awarded to Mets pitchers for the AT&T Long Distance Award. Here's how it works. For every inning pitched, you get a point. We'll also add in the fractions. If a pitcher is credited with a complete game, he gets a bonus point. At the end of the season, the man on top wins the AT&T Long Distance Award, and $10,000 will be given to the charity of the player's choice. As of tonight, Dwight Gooden took over the lead.
And once again, the final score, the Mets 6 and the Astros nothing. The Mets are back on Sports Channel Monday night at 7:30 when they host the world champion Cincinnati Reds. Coming up next on the extra inning, Fran Healy's guest will be Mackey Sasser. Later tonight on Sports Channel, it's exciting harness racing with Summer Racing 91 from Yonkers. This is Ralph Kiner for Rusty Staub and Fran saying so long until Monday. And thanks for watching Mets baseball on Sports Channel.
Did I have that ball in my glove? Oh, go ahead.
We're back.
Okay.
Welcome back to Shea Stadium. You're watching Extra Inning. I'm Fran Healy, and our special guest star of the game for the New York Mets tonight, Mackey Sasser. Mackey, 3 hits in tonight's ball game, but I'll tell you what, we were impressed with the throw to second base. Tell us about it.
Well, you know, I've been working on it really hard, you know, for the last 10 to 12 days, and, you know, buddies gave me the time to do what I need to do to get my, you know, my act together, and he told me that, you know, when you're ready, you tell me. And yesterday I told him I was ready to play, and he told me I'll be in there tonight, and, you know, right now it's, you know, it's just a matter of me feeling comfortable and
you liked it.
Oh, I love that throw. It gave me a lot of confidence right there, and it's just something I need. I need my confidence on defense and, you know, the people behind me and everything, and I'm going to work out of this.
Our producer and director liked it so much. I'm going to show you that throw again. I like this throw. Let's take a look at it again. This is a bullet to second base. Yeah, we're going to, there it is. Watch this. Coming out of the chute, right over the top. Yes. Huh?
Yeah, I've been working on that pretty hard. You know, I'm capable of doing that a lot. It's just a matter of me getting into games and doing it.
You do. You work a lot with Doc Edwards and also Keith Sedro. Keith Sedro with the football.
Yeah, me and Doc, we work on the road a lot. We work about every third day, and sometimes we work back-to-back days. You know, we do it at home a lot, but, you know, not as much as we do it on the road. For the last 9 days, me and Keith Sedro and Doc Edwards have been working with a football, which is something I did in high school. I was a quarterback in high school, and we thought maybe that it might get my mechanics back behind the plate again. And tonight it felt really good. I was, you know, pretty relaxed back there. It was still, you know, I clutched a little bit and popped my glove a few times, but sometimes I didn't. So that's a plus for me, and I'm going to continue to work with the football and continue to work out and do the things I need to do.
And of course, the thing that'll keep you in the lineup and keep you on the tongues of the coaching staff and Buddy Harrelson is the bat, because the Mets need your bat in the lineup. Tell us about it.
Well, you know, I know that, you know, I can hit the ball. You know, really tonight I really wasn't worried about my offense as much as my defense. Tonight, you know, I knew I was pumped up and I was ready to play ball, and I went out and got 3 hits, and that's something I'm capable of doing, playing every day. And, you know, now that I got the 3 hits and I've thrown a guy out and I've caught Dwight in a shutout game, that's a confidence builder for me, and, you know, I look forward to catching tomorrow.
Now, how is your rapport with, say, Dwight Gooden?
I think we get along well. You know, I think I could have caught David last night, but, you know, David, you know, when I catch David sometimes, you know, he likes to get the ball and do whatever, and, you know, I wanted to feel comfortable tonight, and I knew that me and Dwight were friends, and we could go out and work good together, and I wanted to catch Dwight tonight because I wanted my first game back to feel relaxed and be out there and have a good time, and you saw what happened. You know, he threw 91 pitches, and he pitched a great game.
Mackey, just to digress for a moment, in your hand here, you have some money. Is there any particular reason why we're sitting on this? I'm a little bit
I just did another show over there for Houston, and it gave me $50.
So you can be bought.
I can be bought.
Okay. Well, Mackey, as far as the pitching staff is concerned, you talked about Dwight Gooden. Does there ever come a time where the catcher has to say, gentlemen, I want to catch the game. You pitch the game.
I think there comes a time, you know, I'm not the type of guy that'll speak up and say that, but I do talk to Doc Edwards, and I talk to guys about it, you know, and we've been struggling with the bat, and I know my bat in there is going to spark us and get us going a little bit, and, you know, my problem is my problem. Their problem is to go, and their job is to go out and pitch the ball and let me do my job, and they do their job, and everything will work out fine. But, you know, the problem that I had, double clutching, triple clutching sometimes, is a problem for the pitcher sometimes, and I can understand that, and that's why I've tried to work so hard to get out of it, and hopefully I've, you know, cured it.
How does a guy stay in shape when he's not playing every day?
Well, actually, I put on about 9 pounds sitting on the bench. It's just something I have to do. I run a lot. I do, you know, run about 3 miles a day a lot, but, you know, I also eat a lot. But sitting on the bench, I don't get that exercise that I need, and I put on a little bit of weight.
How, 9 pounds? I mean, that's a lot of weight hanging around. Have you been eating with Rusty and myself?
Well, no, it's just, you know, I eat pretty well. It's just, you know, the fluids build up on you when you're sitting around. You know, I drink a lot of water, a lot of juice, and a lot of these things, and they build up on you. When you're playing every day, you have, you know, you drink a lot, but you lose a lot. And, you know, that's where I'm going to lose my weight, is playing every day.
We're going to show another play tonight. Tell us about it.
Okay. This is a play where me and Howard both went for the ball, and neither one of us caught it because it was like an in-betweener, and I thought we were going to hit, and I tried to jump at it and get it because I thought Howard was going to hit me, and I almost caught it. You know, those kind of plays right there show you that we're trying to hustle and get out there and play ball, and that's the things that's going to get us going.
Well, I don't think anybody will accuse those two guys up there of not hustling, yourself and Howard Johnson.
Yeah, we tried to get it out. I wish I'd have caught that ball, though.
Heck, let me see that money for just a second. You know what? Look, I want to thank you very much for coming on the post-game show. I want to tell you something. They pay him, he pays us to go on the post-game show. We'll be back with the highlights right after this. Back here at Shea Stadium, as Bob Murphy would say, a happy recap for the Mets tonight. The Mets over the Houston Astros in a close ball game, and Mackey Sasser, one of the heroes in the ball game. Also, Dwight Gooden pitched a fine game. And tomorrow, same two teams go at it in the final game of this series. On the mound, Frank Viola against Mark Portugal. And on Monday, the Cincinnati Reds come to town. They'll take on the New York Mets in a 3-game series. 2 of the 3 games can be caught right here on Sports Channel if you can't make it out to the ballpark. And once again, keep in mind tomorrow, Frank Viola on the mound for the New York Mets. Now let's take a look at the highlights from tonight's ball game. It was a special day here at Shea with the Upper Deck Heroes of Baseball in the end, and Gary Templeton was a hero for the Mets in the second as he drills this 2-run home run with Mackey Sasser on base. It gave the Mets a 2-zip lead here at Shea Stadium. And Jimmy Jones not very happy as Templeton circles the bases. Templeton was involved in the Mets' 3rd run in the 4th. As he hits into the fielder's choice, Howard Johnson scores. At that time, it was 3-0 in favor of the Mets. The Mets added more in the 6th as Howard Johnson hits this rocket down a line to right for a triple. Mark Carrion scores. And at that time, the Mets had a 4-0 lead. Howard Johnson, great speed going to 3rd. Mark Carrion crossing the plate. And then Mackey Sasser hits this looper that Eric Yelding can't hold on to. Howard Johnson scores, and the Mets had a 5-0 lead after 6. The Mets added another run to make it 6-0, and that was all the doctor needed as he went all the way for the shutout. Final, New York 6, Houston nothing. The doctor got the win. He's 6-5. Jones took the loss. He's 4-4. And we'll be back. Back here at Shea Stadium, extra inning and a nice night if you're a Met fan. The Mets over the Houston Astros, shutting the Astros out 6-0. The doctor getting on the positive track. Mackey Sasser, 3 hits and an outstanding throw to second base. We told you the score of the Met ball game. Now let's check the scoreboard throughout baseball. Starting in the National League, where the Padres got past the Chicago Cubs. Dennis Rasmussen got the win. He's 3-1. Mike Bilecki took the loss. He's 8-5. George Bell hit his 13th home run for the Cubs. Thomas Howard hit a home run with a man on. And once again, 6-2 San Diego over Chicago. How about the Giants shutting out the Pittsburgh Pirates 4-0? Smiley took the loss. Matt Williams hit his 9th home run of the season. We saw Matt Williams early in the year. Boy, was he struggling. Cincinnati beating Philadelphia 3-1. Rio got the win. He's now 6-2. Montreal up in Canada over Atlanta 2-0, bottom of the 6th. St. Louis at LA. 10:05 start. Watch that game closely. In the American League, the Boston Red Sox just clobbered the California Angels 13-3. Chuck Finley took the loss. He was going after his 11th victory of the season for the California Angels. Mike Gardner got the win. He's now 3-1. Jack Clark, he's starting to get hot with the bat. Hit his 8th home run of the year with one man aboard. Red Sox fans were taking it out on Jack Clark, and he said it was okay to do that to him. Then he started to complain. Baltimore over Toronto, 8-4. Jeff Ballard, the winning pitcher. Juan Guzman, 0-2, took the loss. Mark Williamson picked up his 3rd save of the season. Baltimore home runs, Bob Melvin, Mike Devereaux. Devereaux hit his 8th home run of the season with 2 men aboard. For the Toronto Blue Jays, Joe Carter, making that trade look good with the San Diego Padres, hit his 11th home run of the season. So that trade between the Padres and the Blue Jays during the offseason, working out for both clubs. Fred McGriff having a nice season for the San Diego Padres. Minnesota on top of Cleveland, 11-6, top of the 8th inning. They're going after their 14th consecutive victory. Minnesota Twins playing good baseball. Kansas City on top of Chicago in the bottom of the 5th, 5-1. Mike McFarland hit a home run for Kansas City, his 7th home run of the year, having a fine season doing the catching for the Kansas City Royals. Oakland losing to Milwaukee 6-4. Stewart, the losing pitcher in that ball game, 4-3 on the season. Greg Vaughn hit his 11th home run of the season with 2 men aboard for Milwaukee. Yankees on top of Texas. They're in the top of the 4th inning, 2-1. Kevin Maas hit number 11. Detroit on top of Seattle. I should say Detroit will try to get on top of Seattle tonight. It's a later start. where Seattle might want to beat Detroit. But anyways, once again, that's the scoreboard. Final score 6-0. The Doctor picking up his 6th win of the season. Mackey Sasser 3 hits in tonight's ballgame. Remember, the Mets are back on Sports Channel Monday night at 7:30 when they host the world champion Cincinnati Reds. Coming up next is Summer Racing 91 from Yonkers. This is Fran Healy saying so long until Monday. Good night, everybody.
Where can you catch New York's hottest baseball team? On Sports Channel. The Mets are determined to win the National League East and bring the pennant home to New York. Strong pitching continues to be the Mets' calling card, with Doc Gooden, Frank Viola, and closer John Franco to shut the door. With Vince Coleman on the bases and Howard Johnson's bat leading the Amazins' attack, Buddy's squad is thirsting for glory in 91. The Mets take the field against the Cincinnati Reds, live Monday at 7:30.